My name is Brother Wayne Spooner, and I have the privilege of serving Illinois Freemasonry in a number of capacities. And the remarks that we're going to share with you today is focused on maximizing and enjoying a quality Masonic membership experience. Is it okay if we take a little journey together for a few minutes? Okay, again, feel free to jump on in there. So first of all, good afternoon. Oh, appreciate the love. So the first thing that we'd like to start with is a statement. Freemasonry, as we know it today, has been around for more than 300 years. Again, Freemasonry, as we know it today, has been around for more than 300 years. Think about that for a moment. We have been able to capture the hearts and minds of good men located around the world for more than 300 years. Yes, we have been able to help individuals see value and relevance in their daily lives for being a Freemason, being a good man. And let's think about that for a moment, because 300 years, that sounds like a big number, doesn't it? But let's make it plain. Think about it. There were men in rooms just like this, good men in the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, and 2000s. A little bit has changed in that time, would you agree? But guess what? Our ancient and honorable fraternity is timeless. Let me say that again. Our ancient and honorable fraternity is timeless. Now, let me make a statement that you might say, I don't know if I agree with that, but I would say, listen anyway. Freemasonry is one of the most nimble, flexible, and adaptable organizations in history. Freemasonry is one of the most nimble, flexible, and adaptable organizations in history. I won't ask you whether or not you agree with that statement, but I would say, hold on, buckle up, because we're going to get there. So you might say, hey, what are the foundations of the value and longevity associated with Freemasonry? You might have that question, yes? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because I'm not going to answer that right out of the gate, but I'm going to share something with you, which is a quote. And I want you to listen to it because I'm going to say it twice. We good? Good men and true, knowing each other to be such, do always love the more as they be the more good. Say it again. Good men and true, knowing each other to be such, do always love the more as they be the more good. As Freemasons, we represent, and we promote a quality life filled with what? Honor, integrity, freedom, equality, brotherly love, learning, and service to mankind. Do we not? Absolutely. Being around like-minded men that are good men, that share these core values, that are steeped in morality and the virtues of humanity. Here's something for you to think about. As Masons, as Freemasons, we look past what other people choose to divide men. We look to the strength of that character. That is what? Inside a good man. And that is what does what? It unites us into what? Shared values. Those shared values, do you hear about many of them today in the greater world? Sometimes. We within walls like this, we talk about them all the time. We share them as good men. So what is one of the secrets? Because many times people talk about the secrets of Freemasonry, right? One of the secrets of Freemasonry I offer to you is the ability to unite good men whose life's journeys would otherwise never cross paths. Let me say that again. One of the secrets of this great thing of ours is uniting men whose life's journey, good men, would not otherwise ever pass one another. Isn't that pretty cool? Because that speaks to the ability for us to share what is best in all of us with one another. And we'll get to some of that later on. So if you really wanted to know who we really are, you don't have to twist my arm because I'm going to tell you who we are. We are a fraternity. We offer enlightenment and we act with benevolence. Again, we are fraternity. We are a brotherhood of men coming together to see the best in who we are. We offer enlightenment. There is growth and development within these walls, as well as we offer benevolence. We act with benevolence because it is not for us alone. We take what is the best of us, strengthen, and we do for others. So again, who we are is quite simple. We are a fraternity. We offer what? Enlightenment and act with benevolence. See, that's easy to remember. Yes? What do you think? Yes, no? Okay, good. But this one, if you remember nothing else that we share with you in these remarks, remember the following. The goal of Freemasonry. What is that goal? That singular goal? I'll give it to you. We accept the good man. We make him better. Better than the man he was 6 months ago, and ultimately to help him become the best version of himself. That is what we do in terms of the goal of Freemasonry. We take a good man that shares what values, those same values that we talked about before. We make him better. The very ceremonies and education that you get is part of your development as an entered apprentice, a fellowcraft, and then ultimately a master mason. And then not stopping there, the concept of continuous improvement is what you get from being around people that want you to be the best you can. Ultimately, to achieve that goal and whatever your good activities are in your life. So that is the goal of Freemasonry. Now, you might say, you talked a lot, but what are the real motivations for why people really stay and engage with Freemasonry? You might have that thought, yes? Possibly? I'll say yes on your behalf. Work with me. Give me a little latitude. Okay? So the key is, would you be surprised to hear that the key motivations and expectations of good men seeking to join and be actively involved with Freemasonry has not changed over those years? Would you be surprised? Well, you can say, well, until you actually tell me what those are, I don't know if I should be surprised or not. I got you. No need to be pushy. So the first thing is, well, what are those key motivations and expectations? There are 3 of them. The first one, opportunities for fellowship. Opportunities for fellowship. Number 2, opportunities to learn. Opportunities to learn. And number 3, opportunities to make a difference and contribute. Those are them. That's it. Now, it might sound to the naked ear of various forms and so forth, but those are the 3. So let's make it real for a minute. Opportunities for fellowship, gathering together because we like one another. We are brothers and friends. And by the way, is it okay if we just have some fun? Is it? Okay, thank you. So that is really it, where you can have fun, good revelry with individuals you actually care about, that you know when they tap you on the back, when they give you that good hug, you feel better. It just feels good. It's okay to just what? Feel good. That's what you get from the fellowship when we talk about that. The learning. By the way, when we talk about learning, it is not just, hey, what's Masonry about? It's what life's about. You learn from, I'll call it, more seasoned individuals than yourself. Notice I put that. Just, hey, I don't want nobody throwing daggers at me. So it's really a matter of learning not only the specifics of Masonry, but learning from one another. which is so huge. And clearly, when we're talking about making a difference and contribute, it is fundamentally one word, what, 4 letters: help. This beautiful thing to just feel useful and help. Whether it's fixing a doorknob on a building, helping a widow actually be able to live comfortably in our home because you fix a couple of things, do a little bit of grocery shopping, or you are doing something fantastic in the communities itself. It's fundamentally that givenness that we have that's talked about help. So you all have a document with you. You can pull it up. The one that has the columns on it. The title of it is called The Masonic Membership Value Exchange, a Conversation Starter. If you can just take a quick peek at that. We won't go through it in detail for the sake of time. But what I wanted you to notice is that when we talk about the values, they're right there at the top. When we talk about, well, what people want in this exchange of value, etc., it's right there. Brotherly love, Masonic truth, and relief. And there's various aspects associated with that. Now you might say, well, why did we create that document? Because do you believe that everybody has the gift of gab? Come on now, be honest. Come on. Some of y'all like shrinking away, don't ask me. Not everybody has the gift of gab, but do you see that this is a very, very, very important conversation to have about what you see, what you want, what you value, what you can offer, etc. Do you hear me? Because that's what we created that for. And by the way, that's public information. So whether or not you're a brother that's active or non-active, or whether or not you're someone interested in the great organization that we have here, or guess what? You were a significant other saying, I got somebody that need to look at this. Okay. Y'all know what I mean. Some of y'all are like, hey, I've got somebody at work that need to hear this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So all in all, we did that as an assistant, and we wanted to share that with you today as just a takeaway to remember some of the things in our discussion. So when we talk about, to help with those thoughtful conversations, it is important to sit down and talk. I know in our electronic age, sometimes it's tough to think. It's like, no. People actually want to talk to one another, especially when they believe that someone cares about them. Let me say that again. When someone cares about them. The very thing that says, I see you. You aren't some blip on my screen. My brother, I see you. Think about how powerful that is today, to say, I see you. You hear what I mean. Y'all know the feeling that I'm talking about. So how do we bring this all together into really maximizing and enjoying this experience? I would offer to you a motto. It's actually at the very top of that page. It's about Masons living Masonry in their daily lives. Let me say that again. It's about Masons living Masonry in their daily lives. It isn't about just living this thing of ours when we come to a building that looks like this. It's about living it every single day. It's about knowing Masonry and living Masonry. It's about being around people that actually make you stand taller because you know that's what you should be doing. Y'all know what I mean, brothers. Sometimes you had a bad day and you slumped over. Before you know it, it's like, I have to stand what? Upright. Because that's what we do. We stand upright. We carry the load and we help one another. So let's talk about what some of this looks like, because you might have that in mind. We take pride of being around good men, as I mentioned to you. And here's the thing. They remind us something very, very important. That it is okay to live a quality life without having to compromise your values. Let me say that again. It is okay to live a quality and engaging life without having to compromise your values. In our lodge meetings or other events like this, like I said, we stay connected. You feel connected to something bigger than yourselves, and you just have some fun. Oh, by the way, there are no strangers amongst Freemasons. Let me say that again. There are no strangers among Freemasons. They are just brothers and friends you have yet to meet. They are just brothers and friends you have yet to meet. See, because in this great state of Illinois, we've got more than 57,000 of us. That's a cool number. You know, a few of us hanging out in the great state of Illinois. And guess what? We got millions more around the world. As what we heard, we are only divided by convenience, but we are connected strongly as a brotherhood. So when we remember before I talked about learning, yes? Everybody remember that? So you say, well, I got that general term, but what does that mean? We provide a safe space, an environment for brothers to actually learn, grow, and develop. You say, well, what do they learn? Well, they learn new skills, they have new knowledge, abilities, and things of that nature. But let me make that plain, because that sounds maybe a little too fancy. All right, let's make that plain. How many other places can you be around good men who offer you the following? The ability to fail small, but learn big. They offer you the ability to fail small, but learn big. Try something new. Step on out there. You've heard that term before, yes? You've heard that term, step on out there. Let me make it more visual for you. All right? I know I'm not exactly ballerina material, but if you said step on out there, think of the following. If I said, I don't know, but I'm going to see, and I step on out in the tightrope, and if I knew my brother said, step on out there, will be your net. You're more comfortable what? Stepping on out there. It's trying something new. Learning from yourself. Learning about yourself. Learning what might be talents but haven't figured out what strengths yet. All of those things you get through this experience. Do you hear me? And by the way, we do not complete this work for ourselves. Who are the benefactors? Our family, our friends, our co-workers, our neighbors, as well as our communities. Those are the benefactors of this good work. And as I said, we take pride in relieving the suffering of others. So as I begin to conclude these remarks on our behalf, is it okay if I share something personal? Is it? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Yesterday I turned 25. I'll let that sink in. I'm sorry, I just couldn't. Okay, so yesterday I turned 25. 25 years ago, I was raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason in a room just like this. That is pretty amazing from my perspective of looking back across those many years. And I can tell you something, without hesitation, a pause, or a second thought, I can tell you that is one of the most impactful, important, and beneficial decisions I've made in my life. For those that know me know that I've done a few things in life. That one, by far, is one of the most important. I say that not because I'm standing here as a Mason. I'm standing here because I am a man and I'm telling you the truth. So to my brothers, one and all, take full advantage of this thing of ours because it is absolutely beautiful. To those within the sound of my voice that might be interested in learning more about Illinois Freemasonry, we welcome you to do so. You can go right online, pull up your phones, etc., and go to ilmason.org and learn more about us. But more especially, talk to one of us as a brother. We'd be loved to chat with you. We'd be loved to chat with you. So remember, I made a statement earlier that might seem a tad controversial, associated with Freemasonry is one of the most nimble, flexible, and adaptable organizations in history. I said that earlier, did I not? You might say, well, can you back that up? I will. Think about it. We have found a way to listen to the needs of the changing communication landscapes of societies around the world, et cetera, and we found a way to adapt. We kept the timeless elements associated with who we are, but we adapted to those communication protocols, etc. I am happy to report that in Illinois Freemasonry, we are successfully doing that, adapting to the technological and preferred communication approaches of this digital age. I mentioned our website earlier. I welcome you to take a look at it. But more importantly, we are reclaiming the message about Illinois Freemasonry and sharing that broadly so that good men can hear who we really are and make appropriate decisions for themselves and their families. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So if you ask the question, well, what's in that message? What's in that message? I have an answer for you. It is that this great thing of ours, our fraternity, is timeless. It's about the values that we share with good men. It's about who we are and the goal that we ultimately have in helping each one of us become the best version of ourselves. It's about those expectations that we fulfill in spades associated with fellowship, learning, and ability to help one another. And it is about how we do this not in just word, but in deed, in action, in knowing Masonry and living Masonry. It has been my pleasure, thank you, Worshipful Master, for being able to share these remarks with you as an addition to the day. And I will tell you, it is because thoughtful conversations like this is why we, many of us, say the following: the future of Illinois Freemasonry is bright. Thank you. Thank you, Worshipful.
Cover you with that distinction, which in this lodge it is alone your privilege to wear. That's the best I've ever seen that done right there.